What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Project Ozone 2 Kappa Mode. Oh yeah, guys. So last episode, we spent a lot of time doing Galactic Craft stuff, and I said I was going to upgrade all of our Galactic Craft stuff to Applied Energistics, and I've done that. So we got 2 rows of 7 ME interfaces and the electric compressors down below. Yeah, so we were able to compress these things, or I guess compact them in a little bit neater, a little bit tighter space than what we had before. We could have had these closer together like this previously if I would have turned these electric compressors so they weren't facing this way. Yeah, I've turned them so they're facing this way now. So all the power goes off on this side. You can put items into the compressor from that same side. And then I am pulling the items out from the bottom and they're going up and back into the interface to complete the recipe. So this is set up so we can put in 2 full stacks of bronze ingots to make a stack of compressed bronze. I was trying to figure out a way to automate these where it's just like, okay, we need 1 bronze plate, put in 2 ingots, but you can't really do that because the 2 ingots will go into like 1 slot, right? And in order for this to work, you need an ingot here and an ingot here. I don't know. Maybe there's a way to get it so it sets to set this thing up properly so it will put them in the correct spot, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. The easiest solution was just to make a full stack at a time using 2 stacks of bronze. So I've done that here. Each one of these are kind of the same. So this is going to be making a stack of compressed aluminum with 2 stacks of aluminum, a stack of compressed steel with 2 stacks of steel, right? And then we can make a bunch of the heavy duty plates. Yeah, we have to make 128 of those at a time. When we make those, just the way this is all set up, compressed meteoric iron, we can make 2 heavy duty plates, I guess the tier 2s this way. But yeah, like all of these other ones, it kind of feels like we have to do 2 stacks in there, otherwise it just won't work right. There might be a way to do that better. I didn't figure that out yet. But anyway, so this is all working. We have them all the way up to the final tier that we were doing here, whichever, I guess it doesn't really say the metadata. I guess that's a tier 7. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So we got these all set up here, all working through Applied Energistics, so I can tell the system to make whichever tier I want, and it will craft those. So I've extended out our red wire here. This is our P2P only connections. Yeah, so we have a P2P here, which is using 17 channels for all 17 of our different interfaces for the electric compressors up there. And we're using some of the ME conduit to kind of make it a little bit nicer and so on and so forth. But yeah, that's the system underneath. So the 1 P2P tunnel, the dense cable, so we can see how many channels we're using, and just the regular cable to each different section. Yep, I like it. So yeah, I said I was gonna make that with the Applied Energistics. We did it, so now we can move on. So what I was looking at wanting to do today, since we have access to the blue gems, it makes sense that we should start using those, right? So the blue gems are used in a lot of things. You can see this crazy recipe, which we're not quite close to doing yet. So that's one of the recipes, but what I wanted to do was start making these draconic cores. Once we start making these, we can start making awakened draconium, and then we can start using the nether star seeds that we made forever ago. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to do, but it's not that simple. Like, we have the blue gems, right? We need draconium ingots, so we're gonna need to start getting those going. I don't remember, do we even have draconium yet? We have a little bit. I need to get the magical crops going that makes this stuff, but we'll worry about that later. Again, that's not super important right now. So let's go back. So we can make these blue gem wafers. I'm not sure what those are used for. I'm sure they got a use. So the next important thing here is this glowing mangalo stuff, right? So in order to make that, we need the mangalo, which is 8 steel plus rich slag. We don't have a way to make rich slag yet. We kind of talked about this previously, how we're gonna do it, but we haven't done that yet. And then we also need this Zephyrian Aruthium stuff, 5 buckets per ingot. Yeah, to make it the glowing. And then we need 4 glowing per one of these. We need 16 of these to make 4 blocks of the awakened draconium. So we need a full stack of these things. Yeah, anyway, it's a lot of stuff that we need to get going. So, the rich slag, this is where we're gonna start. we were gonna make rich slag off of the gold ingots, right? So we started making gold ingots a while ago. I'm sorry, the gold ore. We can put the gold ore into the induction smelter with pyrotheum. I think we can do it with sand. We can do it with cinnabar, with the dense stuff. Yeah, there's a few different ways, but I think this is the way we were gonna do it because this is like the most automated way. I know there is a couple of different ways, like you can do the clock and the compass, and I've tried doing that before in the past, but it's like such a low % chance of getting it that, in my opinion, after doing it once, I'm kind of good. I don't think we're gonna do it again. This is 20% chance with sand plus gold ore, so we'll set it up to be automated, so we're always getting this stuff. We're making the gold ore from magical crop. Sand can be made from, I think, the fire essence and earth essence together. So all of these are made from magical crops, which we're growing already. So all we need to do is just run it through the induction smelter, and we will be getting this stuff all of the time. So I think that is something that I wanted to do. I think there was another way we were looking at this before where we can get cinnabar from that, and that would increase the chances, but I don't remember exactly how that works. But anyway, we need to get ourselves a faster induction smelter. We have the one here. Oh, you know what? This is fully upgraded. You know what? Maybe this will be fast enough. I thought this was not upgraded. Making the meteoric iron with this thing was rather slow. I don't know how fast it is with the gold ore and sand. Let's find that out. So our gold ore is now completely full. We have 106,000 gold ores. So we need sand. Let's grab some sand. Half a stack should be just fine. Let's see how fast this is or how slow it is. Oh, wow, that's quite quick. That's going to be perfect. Okay, so if we have that going non-stop, we can pipe this gold into like a deep storage unit so we can always keep it. How much power does this use? Does it see? 5,000 RF per tick. And that goes quite fast. I like it. Okay, so we need to set up one of these things to be automated and specific for this purpose to make rich slag. So that's going to be our next goal. I was thinking we might set that up over in the last millennium. I don't know if that's what we're going to do. Let's turn this off. Another thing I noticed, yeah, in the last millennium, we set up our lasers, and I did double it, so now we got the same amount of lasers on top, and it feels like we're starting to get a little bit of frame rate lag here because of all the lasers or the conduits or one thing. We're getting a lot of frame rate lag right now because the magical crops are growing. Are these things about done? Oof, that lag though. Yeah, I think these are about done growing. Okay. So yeah, ever since I added in this top layer, it's feeling a little bit frame ratey over here. So that's exactly the reason why I didn't want these in the base. It's because, yeah, I don't want to deal with this all the time. Like, it's not like super bad, but you can definitely feel it here. I was thinking we could try to avoid it by covering it all up, so like it would try not to render these things, but that doesn't really seem to work. I did fully cover that up, and it was still, you could feel the lag. I'd even covered this up into a full box. But yeah, the way this is set up, you can just kind of walk in here, set a recipe or whatever. I have the oh man, it's even worse in here. Oh my goodness. It's so bad. Yeah, you can set a recipe in there, and then there's an interface that we can access to put the recipes in there automatically when we order it from Applied Energistics. We do need to get that cow here, the Zypherian Erothium. We also need to figure out where we're going to put our induction smelter here. Yeah, there's a few things I need to do. And then also I need to get the draconium planted. I know we made... Yeah, here it is. We made this a while ago. So I got a few things I need to do. Let me go ahead and get some stuff done off camera here. We'll start growing some of this stuff, and we will be right back. All right, guys, so we're talking about storing the gold into deep storage units. I just got done making all the different stuff that we need for that to happen. So we had to make a pattern for these ender diamonds, for these pulsating crystals, the vacuum chest, and then we also have to make a pattern for plastic sheets, which is new, and then the deep storage unit. There's two different recipes for this. One of them's a little bit harder and requires a dimensional transceiver, and one of them's a little bit easier. Now, I've asked the MODPACK creator if that was intentional. He did say it was, because I felt like this recipe was too easy for this particular item, but apparently it's intentional, so you can use a dimensional transceiver for this stuff and like this reinforced obsidian. I don't get it, but anyway, So we have this recipe on AutoCraft. I just made a stack of these machine chassis. These aren't so bad. I did have to set up a few patterns to make the plastic. We have a lot of the rubber from those mega rubber saplings we grew a while ago on the sacred one. So we have the raw rubber going into our smeltery farm over there to turn into these, and then those can go back in there to turn into the raw plastic. So all of that stuff should be good for the raw plastic turns into the plastic sheets, right? So if we do deep storage unit, I haven't tried this yet, but we should be able to make 64 of these things if we wanted to, because we should have 64 of these machine chassis, and everything else should be auto craftable. So yeah, so it's gonna use some ender pearls, some of the raw rubber. It has to craft up a bunch of these. Let's do it. Let's tell it to make 64 of those things. Let's see the smelting factory working over here. Yeah, all of these things that turned on, now they're off. I guess each one of them that are on use like a stack, or just smelted a stack of something quite quickly. Yep, I think we're good. All right, so are we still auto crafting stuff? Oh yeah, we're still auto crafting stuff pretty fast now. So yeah, it's making the wood out of the essence and making the vacuum chest. Cool. So now we got pretty much unlimited storage for anything we want. The only problem with using these over the storage drawers is there is not one block that you can attach like a storage bus to, like you can on the drawer with the drawers, because you have the drawer controller, right? I was gonna go over here and show you, but I guess all of it's down here. Yeah, so down here we just have like the drawer controller, or in this case a controller sleeve that we have the storage bus attached to. With the deep storage units, we have to put one of those on each and every one of them. So if we're going to be using a lot of those, it's going to be a lot of storage buses and a lot of channels that we're going to have to dedicate specifically for that. But I don't think that's going to be that big of an issue. For right now, we want to put gold ingots in there. We might set something up for like iron and something, or I guess different ores and stuff. Draconium is another one we're probably going to want to set up. I was looking at that a little bit ago. The draconium essence turns directly into these ingots, and you can't craft the ingots into blocks with the compacting drawer. They have to be put through the smelter. So we want to store the ingots in ingot form, large quantities of those. So probably again, the deep storage unit is what we're gonna want to do. So we'll have to figure that out. But for right now, we should be able to have a place to store our gold in these deep storage units, which is going to be awesome. These hold like, I don't remember, 2-point-something billion items. I don't think it says on there what their maximum storage capacity is. But yeah, we'll use these to put the gold ingots in. So let me get some stuff done here and we'll be right back. So I was going to make the induction smelter so we could start setting that up. And then I realized, you know, we don't really have a way to make Invar gears, right? In fact, we don't really have a way to make any of our gears except for me manually coming over here to our metal press and putting the items in here and sending them on their way. Now, I told you guys a while ago that that's automatable. Let's work on that. Let's do that right now. So we're going to need ourselves 2 interfaces. Well, we could probably do it with just one, but we're going to use 2 interfaces. Let's grab... What else are we going to need? Any glass cable so we can hook those up to something. We're going to need patterns so we can say what... Whoops. Man, I hit the mouse and it got all turned around there. So we're going to want something that we can set a pattern for. So let's do Invar. So we'll say 4 Invar ingots. Where are the Invar ingots? We'll do this one. No, not 64 of those. Oh, man. That's probably bad. Let's do it this way. Grab 4 from here. Do that. Clear this out. So 4 ingots will equal 1 gear. Can I do that? No, I'm going to have to click those all the way down unless I had a gear, which I don't, which is fine. We can go ahead and just spam click this. Like I said, you can set yourself into cheat mode, I believe, and set it so like the stack when you drag is only 1 at a time. Haven't done that yet, obviously. Okay, so we can do that. So now we can create an Invar gear. 4 ingots turn into that, right? So let's get the interfaces set up. This is a pretty simple automation to do. We'll get rid of the hopper, get rid of this guy. Yeah, all it requires is putting the ME interface right here. We just have to put the pattern in, right? Easy, easy. And then we need an interface or somewhere for these to go on this side. We'll do it like that. In fact, we could do it the cable version and make it a little bit smaller if we wanted to. So we'll pop out that, pop that one out. Let's put some ME glass cable down here so we can kind of see what's going on from below. I might set that up, in fact, to be the cable version, just so it doesn't look like a full block. It might look a little bit nicer. Under here, we don't really have access to, well, I guess we have this right here. I was gonna say we don't really have good access to applied energistics, but we can wrap this around like so. How are we gonna connect this? Let's bring this cable over, then down, I suppose. Yeah, I have to work on that. We could use a conduit, ME conduit right here and go through this cable if we wanted to and make it look really neat and nice, but I guess it's fine just to kind of go around like so. Okay, so those are all hooked up now. I should be able to tell applied energistics to make Invar gears, and we should be able to make it. So we could set that up to be pretty much any gear we wanted to. So let's make, I don't know, 10 Invar gears. Do we have enough? So if we come over here and take a look, we should see everything is working. Yeah, and then the gears just go right into this interface, which sucks them right back into the system. We could do this with just one interface, have like a chest, and then we could extract out of that chest over here and then pump it back into this interface if we wanted to, but I think this works just fine. Anyway, that's a way to get this thing automated. Now we can set it up for all of our different gears that we want, which is super, super awesome. All right, guys. Well, I was going to set this up in the last millennium, but I think we'll just go ahead and set it up here since we have a few unused areas around our base. We'll set up our induction smelter here. So I did make another resonant version. I put all the augments in here. Yep, so we got all of that ready to go. So that's where the machine's going to be sitting. Down below, we're going to be putting our deep storage units. And then here we have some ME storage buses that we will stick on the back like so, and then, you know, cable them up or whatever. So one of these is going to contain gold ingots, and the other one is going to contain rich slag. That's the idea right now. So now we need to get this induction smelter filled full of gold ore. So we're going to need to get ourselves an export bus. I don't remember if I put export buses on AutoCraft. Looks like I did. Awesome. So that's what we need here. And then we can do, I guess, acceleration cards. I don't know how necessary that's going to be. All right, so we got those things. Let's go over here and get this hooked up. Oh, we're also going to need item cables, item conduit. I'll get that here in a second. So let's set the configuration. On the back, we are going to input. Did I set that wrong? That's the top. On the back, we're going to set that to input. There we go. Bottom, we will output both. We want both the main output and the secondary output to go down below. Okay. So this export bus, this might be, we need both sand and we want gold ore in here. Maybe it would be better to set up an interface with both of those being provided and use item conduit to extract and fill both of these slots. That'll be something I'll have to play with to see which one is going to act better or not. Okay, so we can also start running some energy conduit. This is going to need power, right? All right, so I have a tesseract over here that we're using for our cobblestone framework. This is what's providing the silicon for our auto processor processing stuff. So we can go ahead and just run some conduit over here. That is not in alignment, but that's fine. Again, I can mess with this cable, make it look better a little bit later. Okay, so we got that done. We're going to need item conduit. I guess we will set that up to be an interface providing both of those items. Let's just make an interface. Not that. Ooh. One of these. Next. Do it. Okay, so we want a stack of sand. We want a stack of gold ore. And item conduit, right? We're gonna want some item conduit speed upgrades. It's 15 per. I think that should be enough. Although, okay, I was gonna say, what's making it take so long? I guess it smelled something. I don't know. Anyway, so we got those all done. Cool. So interface is going to go somewhere back here. Now, I was thinking export bus would work, but I guess we should do an interface. Interface could go like right here. That should be fine. This will provide both sand and the gold ore. We can use the item conduit to extract out of there and push it into this. If we have the speed upgrades in here, we're always doing a stack at a time. It should fill it up fast enough to keep those always stacked, or stocked, I should say. Okay, so now we want this. We don't want it going into there, although I guess we could. We'll just send it all the way down directly to these deep storage units. Yeah, we could set it into the interface, and since these would be connected to the ME network, these would get filled if we set the priority high enough on those, and we wouldn't have to run this conduit all the way down. I don't know. Again, these will be things that we can mess with and decide on if we want to make it like that later or not. Okay, so we got that set up. Again, we want the speed upgrades in there. Always active on that extract. Okay, so we got a couple of things going on. This will need to be broken so we can run the conduit, or I'm sorry, the ME glass cable down. Want these all connected together. Cool. All right, so now we got to get the applied energistics cabling over here so we can make that all work, but I think that should work pretty good. So yeah, we'll be pumping those items into the induction smelter. I think this should be fine. I'll do redstone mode high so we can get all the items situated in there. And then once, you know, both the gold and the sand are always going in and filling each other up, I think that would always stay full and we won't have to worry about it. Otherwise, we're going to have to pipe in one item from the top and one item from the side. Yeah, so you can do like purple and green or something like that and change where those items are coming in. So that might be something we do. I don't know. Anyway, I'll get this all sorted, get the rest of the cabling ran, and we'll be back, guys. All right, guys, so I set this thing up. So we are inputting the gold from the top on the green, yeah, into this green section, and we are doing the sand to the back in the purple section. What did Okay, we got like one of those issues where the magnet thinks that there's an orb and it keeps giving me all of them. Okay, so we'll turn that off. Anyway, so this should be ready to go. I haven't tried this yet. We'll go ahead and do ignored. Looks like it's filling up the gold, but the sand is not getting filled up. Wonder why not. Oh, you know what? Because we're out of sand in the system. I need a crafting card in here. Aha. Yeah, that would be the reason. Okay, so we need a crafting card so the system knows, hey, we're out of sand, craft up some more, and provide it to that interface. Okay, so crafting a card. Next, do it. Cool. All right, so we just got to install that into our interface over here, and then we should be good to go. Is it gonna do it? Crafting card. Pretty sure we have a recipe in the system, so it knows how to make sand. Gotta take that out and put it back in. So why is that not working? I don't know. I am confused. Let's take a look over here and see what's going on. Do we have anything crafting? No crafting jobs active. If I tell the system to make sand, you know what? We don't have a recipe for sand. I could have sworn we had a recipe for sand. All right then, well that would be why it is not crafting it up. So let's tell the system how to make sand. We'd want this pattern, okay? And we can put that practically anywhere in here. It doesn't really matter. I guess I'll stick it next to the induction smelter. Next to the induction smelter, there we go. Okay, so now we should start making sand and this thing should kick on. Looks like it's doing its thing, awesome. So now we're being provided sand and gold ore. It's doing its work here, I like it. Okay, so now let's take a look down below. So we have gold going into this deep storage unit, and then we have a rich slag going over here. Perfect. This is what I wanted to see. So we can set this to be a priority of 100. I've already done that to the gold ore one, but we didn't have any rich slag before, so I didn't do anything else here. And we can click the partition storage, so it'll set that filter, so only that item will ever try to go into this deep storage unit. Okay, so now we got a stack and a half, which is amazing. Okay, so that's very good. I also want to check and see on our applied energistics system that we can see those items going in. Let's take a look over here. Gold, yes, we're crafting up gold ingots like crazy. Looks like we're going through that gold ore pretty quickly as well. I do have the magical crops turned off. We could turn those back on. If we let that go, we will eventually run out of gold ore, which I didn't think we'd ever do. But yeah, let's turn our magical crops back on over here. So hopefully the gold will keep itself going, but I imagine we probably will run out of this stuff eventually if we let this go long enough. How are we doing here? Oop. Yeah, it looks like that went up just a little bit, but yeah, it's going to be going down. We are definitely induction smelting that faster than we can keep up, which I would imagine our sand should be okay. What about the rich slag? Yeah, now we're getting plenty of this stuff. And with this being on a local server, we're going to have all the rich slag we're ever going to need. Now, there are other ways that we can improve this. If we look at the augments, currently I don't have any additional augments in there, but there is the secondary sieve ones that raises the secondary chance. So one of these would be plus 11. Two of those, I think that's a total of plus 33. And if we put all three in there, there's a plus 81% chance of that secondary. Maybe it'd be better to swap out the speed upgrades for these. Are these expensive? So that requires wool, fused quartz, bronze. That's not bad. I mean, if we can almost guarantee that we get a rich slag per ore, I think that might be better overall. I don't know. But for right now, we were running low on gold. Like, we never really had a lot. We had a lot of gold ore. We have a lot of this gold ore dust, and we had a few blocks that I've manually smelted, but we never really had large quantities of gold ingots until now, which is awesome. I like it. So I think we'll let this run. We'll collect that rich slag, and then we should be able to start making some of this mangalo stuff. So this required the rich slag plus steel ingots. Let's go ahead and tell the system how to craft this. Seems good. Okay, cool. So now we can put that in here. Right there seems fine. So let's tell the system to craft up, oh, I don't know, 64 of these things, because that's what we need. So that's going to require 512 steel, 64 rich slag to make that. Do it! Okay, so that's pretty fast. That's awesome. How are we doing on the slag? We have 300 more. We're still good. Yeah, we were getting the regular slag from the blast furnace that I've taken down a while ago. We haven't used that for a while, but that's where we got this stuff from. But this rich slag, this is the important thing. Now, we need to make the glowing mangalo. So back over in the last millennium, which I turned the magical crops back on, I put down 2 of our Arothium cows, and I did breed them. I set up a rancher over here, so we should have been collecting this stuff. I haven't checked on it since I set it up. I could probably breed these cows again. Yeah, these guys are sitting over here. We have a rancher doing work. And then back here, oh, the Arothium drum is completely full. Wow, okay. I guess that went a little bit faster than I was expecting. That's pretty cool. So anyway, we got all of that stuff. So I guess what I should do, let's grab that and make sure the magnet's on. We'll grab this thing, and then we will look at making some of the glowing mangalo, I think is what it's called. So in order to make this, we did need a fluid transposer. We have the original one that we've made previously, but we haven't upgraded that to the resonant version. I might want to look at doing that. I'm not sure how fast or slow this particular machine is. This is a basic one. Yeah, let's go ahead and upgrade that. So I did make the pattern for all these different gears, like the Electrum gear, the Enderium gear, the Signalum gear. We have patterns for all of these things, so we can craft those up whenever we want to. So then we can upgrade these machines. So if we go to uses on this, whoop, let's look for fluid transposer. Anyway, we go to uses on here. Yeah, you can see it's the Electrum gear plus Invar. Let's do that. Oh, it won't let me click it. It did that time. I don't know why I didn't the first time. So there's that. We can do Signalum to upgrade to the next tier, and then we can do Enderium for the final tier, the resonant version. Cool, and then we can make the upgrades for this. But anyway, so we have this. Let's start making the glowing stuff here. So that's filling up with power. That's good. I need the mangalo. All right, so we'll stick this stuff in. Actually, I think we can do... Press this button. We extract all the fluid into its internal tank. It holds 80 buckets, it looks like, which is kind of cool. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll flip the button, and then we'll put this stuff here. That is taking a minute, so I should probably get the upgrades. All right, so I just made the upgrades. We got a quest complete for making the mangalo stuff. We have completed 2 of these ingots. Let's see how much faster it goes with those in there. Oh, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. Okay, so let's put this stuff in our inventory. Is that going to complete another quest here? I'm not sure. I don't even know where that quest was that we just completed. We completed one for having that mangalo stuff. Zeta. This? Oh, that is it. Okay. So it wants us to make amp for the next one. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about that. But anyway, now that we have these, we should be able to do the draconic cores. These guys. Except we don't have the blue gem. I forget. This stuff, the uses for that Neptune blue gem ore, do we just smelt it? Is there a way to get multiple out of these things? If we had a crusher. A crusher will get us 2. Otherwise, we smelt 1 to 1. Huh. Maybe it'd be worth investing in making the crusher. I'm not really sure. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to wrap the episode up here for today. We got to the point where we're making the glowing mangalo stuff. We need to set up a spot to automate this, right? We want to make sure we're always getting that Zephyrian Eruthium. We want to make sure that is going to a fluid transposer and that these mangalo stuff is headed over there and being processed. So that's definitely something that we want. We want large quantities of this stuff. So hopefully next time we'll be able to get that stuff going. We'll look at making some awakened draconium and progressing a little bit further into this pack. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.